Over the past century, technological and safety advances have been vital for automobile companies. Every year, new model innovations surprised us every time. However, these 5 legendary cars that we will talk about in this video have been produced for decades, ignoring innovations. You will be surprised to learn why. Our first car was a Land Rover Defender. In 2018, it would be wrong not to include the Defender, which is expected to lose competition with its rivals. The Defender, which dates back to the 1940s, was launched in 1983. But the new models were not much different from the previous Series 3. Defender continued to be produced for 33 years. In 2016, production was officially discontinued. The main reasons cited were security and usability issues. Nevertheless, the Defender has become so popular that prices for new models have started to rise. If you are looking for a value for money and a healthy car, this is for you. 2. Our car is Suzuki Jimny. Technically, the Suzuki Jimny dates back to 1968. Suzuki Samurai in the 80s and 90s continues to deserve this list. But the current Jimny model has been around since 1988. The automobile brand has been in production for 26 years. Although the interior is quite old and the ride comfort is poor, Jimny is a very capable vehicle. Minor changes were made, such as weak gear shift buttons and an all-wheel drive system. Again, I'm waiting to see how long this car stays on the market. It will undoubtedly continue to be sold in other markets for years to come. Our third car is Mercedes-Benz G-Series. As the manufacturer of the first patented car, Mercedes was known as a car model that was constantly reinventing itself. But there was an exception to this rule. The Mercedes-Benz G-Series, this robust machine, was built in 1979 for military use. Perhaps Mercedes didn't think it would produce this brand for over 40 years. Instead of being replaced by something new and better, the car continued to roll off the factory lines as a luxury SUV. But let's be honest, this boxed Benz has changed a lot over the years. AMG's version of the crazy V8 engine, an improved interior, and a completely different brand image. But the basis in 1979 was still the same. Although some journalists have criticized the car's past driving dynamics, it's important to remember that the car is an antique. 4. Our car is a Lada Niva. This list includes non-design 4x4 vehicles. Perhaps it is because the audience focuses on the health of these cars rather than modern features. The Lada Niva is no different. The 4x4 was the first model to be designed and built without any help from Fiat. This car was also the Soviet Union's vision of the SUV. Development of the model began in 1971. The production model came in 1977 under the name VAZ 2121. Since then, the Niva has been produced in different forms, but the basic picture and technology has remained the same for 40 years. The Niva's strong off-road performance and easy handling have made it popular in the market. Although discontinued in many markets, it is still sold in Europe and Asia as it was in 1977. Our fifth car is a Peugeot 405. These days, you often think of Peugeot as a boring and unremarkable car. It's not a car that attracts car enthusiasts in a particular year. But this was not the case in the past. Since the 404, one of the legendary sedans of the 60s, Peugeot models have been discontinued in France. But the car was built under license in Africa. The 405 sedan was launched in 1987, but production was stopped only 10 years later in 1997. However, in 1995, Iran's Khodro and Egypt's Waghi Abaza which held third-party licenses, continued production. Although the basic structure is the same, the visuals have been changed. The development of ski Peugeots was very difficult as the original was designed by Pininfarina. Mercedes and Land Cruisers seem to be the vehicles of choice in terms of reliability for countries with less complex needs. Here are 7 ancient cars that are still being produced. Which cars have I forgotten? Comment below and I'll get back to you within the first 24 hours. And as always, thanks for watching.